Welcome to episode 41 of the Travel Calumet Original Podcast. I'm your host, Rick Sense. Joining me for today's episode are organizers and participants in the 2025 Meet Your Local Farmer event that's taking place in Calumet County and beyond on April 26th. Meet Your Local Farmer is an event hosted in the Calumet County area that was created to educate consumers about various aspects of agriculture in Wisconsin. Participating farmers have an open house to welcome you and your family to visit their location and to see firsthand what goes into their operations. So here to share their passion for agriculture in our area today are Anna Zastrow from KidFarm, which is in Chilton, Katie Furmann from Salchert Meats, which is in St. Cloud, okay. Greg Vollmer from Midlakes Custom Services in Hilbert.
Yes.
And Clara Hedrich from KidFarm, Clara Meats, and LaClare Creamery from all over Calumet County and parts south of Calumet County. Okay. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. I appreciate you being here today. The first question, I guess, is I'll throw it over to you, Clara. Help set the landscape for our listeners. Just how big of a deal is agriculture to Calumet County?
Well, if you stop and think about agriculture in our state, when we look at our overall our number one industry in the state of Wisconsin is agriculture. And now if we kind of zip that down to Calumet County, we have more cows in Calumet County than we actually have people. And then if you want to go to the mecca of the dairy goat world of the United States, jump into Calumet County because we have the largest population of dairy goats here in the United States, right in our county. So, pretty exciting when you just look at those two venues, and let's not miss we have the beef industry, we have the pork industry, and we have the sheep industry right here in our county. And please do not forget our crop farmers and our harvesters, because they play into that. And then we go one step further. We need those people that process our products, and they're found right here. So very exciting.
So eg's a big deal in Calumet County.
Yeah, I would say eg's a big deal.
I'm guessing there's a lot of situations that there's a lack of understanding by your customer. Is that one of the reasons why you are doing this event?
Look at our population. About 1.2% are actively feet on the ground producing our product. So they're immersed in agriculture. And then we have those that are very connected very closely to that. And after that, we have everybody else. And who has no experience. We're 3-4 generations removed from the farm. And just an odd fact piece of information, you may know the Gloria and Chuck Maurer farm. And on the side, Gloria does hair. And one day I was getting my hair done, and she made the comment that one of her customers said, "Hey, would you mind if I brought my children so they could stand next to one of your cows? Because the only time they honestly see a cow or could even touch a cow, well, they could just see it, is 60 miles an hour down the road looking into the pasture." And they had no place to go, because remember, you used to have grandfather's farm, your uncle's farm, you had somebody that you could connect into. And today, we just don't have that same connectivity. So I'm a former high school agriculture instructor, and one of the things I always did with my students was get them on the farm, because that's where the learning took place. And so it was very normal and natural to get to the farm for me. And so I'm thinking, wouldn't that be cool if we could set up a day within the county that parents could take their children to the farm and interconnect with that farmer, talk to that farmer. And so that was really the beginning of Meet Your Local Farmer, and I'm on the Calumet County Farm Bureau Board, and that's who hosts this particular event. And so with that being said, I think we're in like year number 9 or 10, someplace in there. I kind of lose track, but that was kind of our basis of why we started that.
Okay, so you've been around for almost a decade then. And I'm guessing there's more than just 1 or 2 visits, 1 or 2 stops on the tour. Could you maybe give listeners an idea of what locations are going to be participating in this year's event?
Yes, we're going to start out with Ledgeview Farms over in the Malone area, and they're a hydroponic setup. And so you'll be able to see the production of tomatoes and cucumbers. And so as a result, they will, and you'll be able to purchase there. You will be able to head over to Salchert's Meat Market in St. Cloud, Wisconsin. You will have an opportunity there to meet and talk with the farmers. And then you can make a stop at LaClare Creamery. Obviously there we will have, our greenhouse will be opened, we will have baby goats on site, we will have our retail shop and cafe, and then you might want to go over to Clover Hill in the Stockbridge area. They are a sheep farm, and then as you head towards the Chilton direction, you're going to stop at Midlakes Custom Service. Greg will talk about what you'll be able to see there in just a little bit. River's Edge Beef in Chilton, Jared Geiser and his family will give you a tour of their beef operation. Adam Reamer, although you're not going to be able to tour his hog farm, you will have an opportunity to talk directly to him. You'll be able to see some show hogs. You will be able to stop in at the KidFarm, meet Anna Zastrow there, and she's going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen there. And then you'll be able to top your visit off at the Wolt Farm Store in the Brilliant area, which is just an amazing country farm store. So a lot of really very interesting places for you to stop and meet your local farmers.
Greg, if since Clara teed you up already about what people are going to be seeing, you want to just give listeners an idea of what they will see if they stop by at Midlakes at Custom Services on that day?
Sure. So if you guys like to see really, really big equipment, you have to stop by us. So we specialize in forage harvesting. So forage harvesting is, I'm sure you see combines out harvesting the grain. We go out and harvest the whole plant for cow feed. So we feed the cows of Calumet County, or I should say we harvest the feed for the cows in Calumet County. So you'll be able to come see the equipment. We have a heated shop, so that there'll be a bunch of equipment in the shop, and you'll be able to come sit in it, take pictures with it. I know we're going to do something different this year. We're going to have a little bit of some trivia games to play, and you can win some prizes. There'll be snacks there. Some of our local vendors have sponsored that. So if you like equipment, come by us.
What's one of the things, the reactions, Greg, that you hear from people when they come out and see your place, and especially from without an ag background?
They're shocked at how big it is when they stand up next to just the tire. They can't believe how big it is. They can't believe how much it costs. They're dumbfounded to see that, but the kids sure get a kick out of being able to go up and sit in the cab.
So this isn't going to be like a museum experience where all you can do is look, you can't touch. These are going to be available to be touched, sat in, pictures taken with.
Yep.
Okay.
There'll be semi-trucks there if you like sitting in a semi-truck, the choppers, tractors, they'll all be inside the shop. And yeah, you can sit in the seat.
And Katie, Salchert Meats, can you maybe give listeners an idea what they experience when they're going to come out and see what you guys are up to?
Yes, so Salchert Meats is a full-service meat market. We go all the way from harvesting the animals all the way through to sausage making and making brats or summer sausage, stuff like that. So when people come to visit our location, they will be able to speak with Adam Reamer, who is a pork farmer from Calumet County, and learn all about the pork industry, and then be able to taste different samples of bacon and stuff like that. I think we'll have bacon, maybe brats and breakfast links available for sampling. And then you will be able to purchase stuff on site. With our location, we harvest animals from over 400 different farmers from the Fond du Lac, Calumet, and Sheboygan counties. So different farmers will bring their animals to us, and then we'll harvest them. And then the meat goes directly back to the consumer, which is a really big deal to be able to connect directly to a farmer and get your meat directly from that farmer. Primarily, we focus on beef and pork. We do a little bit of goat and a little bit of lamb as well, but the primary focus for us is beef and pork.
So people are going to be able to try a sampling of bacon and sausage and brats. Somebody comes in and has questions about the meats and what you do and how you produce them. Will there be staff available on hand to walk people through that process then?
Yes. Okay. Yes, we will have a number of different people there available to ask and be able to answer any questions that the consumer has at that time. And feel free to come with a lot of questions. People come by us all the time asking us questions. And the neat thing is most of the people who work by us either grew up on a farm or they currently are show animals, or they have a little hobby farm of their own. So everybody is very connected to the farm, which I think makes us pretty special to be able to have that opportunity, because maybe when you go to your normal grocery store, the person behind the counter won't know a whole lot about how the animals are raised, or where the meat comes from, or how the meat's made. Even the people who are working behind the counter by us, they spend most of their days actually working in the plant, making the products, and then because we need all hands on deck on Saturdays, so everybody comes in and works by us.
What one thing would be most surprising to people that would come and visit that will see your store?
I think one of the things that probably surprises people the most is the value-added products that we do. So in our store, roughly 75% of what we actually sell, we make. And we add value to products, whether it comes directly from the animal or we buy in different cuts or something like that from time to time. We add a lot of value back, and a lot of butcher shops like ourselves, that is what we do, is we add value to meat. And it helps a lot of other farmers. Not only do we do the harvesting process, but being able to add value through sausage making, through patties, through brats, all that kind of product. I think that's probably the biggest surprise to people, is how much of that stuff we do on site and how important that is to the agricultural industry, allow for us to be able to add value back to the meat.
Are you known for any famous recipes, secret blends or
yes,
anything?
Yes, Salchert's is very known for our steak sandwiches. That is our number one. That is our number one product. People drive all over. I've shipped product all over the country because steak sandwiches, nobody makes them like we do.
All right, listeners, you've been challenged to see if you can not get a steak sandwich from while you're visiting there. So, and I'm going to turn to you, KidFarm. Can you walk listeners through what KidFarm is?
Sure. KidFarm is a goat raising facility. So we have worked with local farms to take in the buck kids, or called doe kids, so kids that are still on milk. Typically we bring in 4 to 7 days of age, raise them up. Our end goal is for providing meat, and so then we will ship them out about 60 pounds. We also work with local meat markets that if they're looking for a goat, we can source them that way. We do some direct sales off a farm as well. And then we have also developed Clara Meats to give value added for the farm itself, and can offer on site a retail store that we are able to sell our product as well.
So what is a person going to experience when they come out to your place on that Saturday?
So on that Saturday, meet your local farmer. They will be able to snuggle with a baby goat, visit our retail store if they're looking for any type of goat product. So we have burgers, stew, and ground meat available. And then they will also be able to meet the farmers itself, kind of look at our layout. Unfortunately, we're not doing tours through the barn at that time. So it'll all be set up in a tent there for people to view.
But people will get a real good grasp and understanding of how the process works.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And how many people are you planning or anticipating at this event? Are you preparing for? Clara.
You're all looking at me. Excellent question, no good answer, because this is also the weekend of the NFL draft. And so we have no idea if that's going to have an impact on our visitors or not. And so, it's anybody's guess.
You can certainly have a really great time.
Or if you've had enough with the draft, you come and visit all the
Even
farms
better.
and get a little peace and quiet, nice little zen to reset, and then go back to the hustle and bustle.
There you go. So you can do both at the same time. All right.
In years past, what have numbers been at farms?
Between 150, 200 from individuals. Greg, I don't know what you've experienced.
I probably a little under that. I was going to say 80 to 100.
Okay.
Depends
Yeah.
weather, yeah.
So it's an intimate day. It's if you want one-on-one contact with somebody in agriculture to really ask some questions and learn, it's a great opportunity to do that.
Yes.
They're not going to be like crowds of people where you just kind of get to look and see things and move on. You can really spend quality time there learning about the products, the services, what you grow, what you sell, what you service as you go forward.
Yep.
Okay.
And Rick, something I want to inject on this too is I have young kids, and this event has been a lot of fun for me to take my kids to, because it is very intimate and it's very safe for young families to go out, get on the farm. You get to talk to a lot of different people, and the neat thing about the way that this is set up, you get to kind of see a little bit of everything in the egg industry. But I will warn you, you better plan your day out, because otherwise with young kids you will spend your entire day at one place. So if you want to check out a bunch of different places, grab the map. I know there's a map out there, there's different literature out there, but grab the map and plan out your day and start with things that maybe aren't as like kid focused early in the day, so that mom and dad have the things that they want to see, and then end up at the place where you get to snuggle goats later on, or you get to climb on the tractors. I know my boys would spend their entire day climbing on the tractors. So that's what's kind of fun for me, having a young family, and it's very safe. Like your kids, yeah, maybe the tractors are big and that sort of thing, but they can run around, and you can kind of observe from a little bit afar, or if they're really little, like you can climb up there with them. So those are kind of the things from my past experience taking my kids through, which have been a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I want to interject the connectivity of all of the farms. You think about everybody as kind of a, shall we say, a standalone farm, so to speak. You produce your product, you send it off. But if you stop and think and look at our county, you just think about the KidFarm and Salchert Meats. We also have sausage and sticks that are for sale at our store that is produced at Salchert Meats, so that you've got that tightness there. You've got Greg, as he pointed out, he is not feeding the cows per se, but he is harvesting that feed for a number of farms within the county. Adam Reamer is going to be set up on his farm, and his main objective is that he wants to give people, even though you can't tour his farm, he wanted them to have that experience of seeing the live hog, which I think is just extremely important in the industry. So there's, and if you think about the beef and you think about the sheep, and like the Wolf Farm store is just really quite an experience. You just have to go out there and experience it, right across the board. So,
All right. From your perspective, Greg, what's going to be the biggest challenge preparing for this?
I think we've gotten good at it, because I think this is probably our 4th or 5th year. Our biggest challenge and hope is that the weather is good, so we can actually open our doors, and it's just a lot funner when the weather isn't blowing and it's not snowing. So as far as challenges, I feel like we've dialed it in to figure out what the kids really like, even parents, because I think the parents get a bigger kick out of some of the nominal value of some of this equipment. So I think those are our challenges.
Okay. And Anna, what is going to be some of the challenges that you guys are going to face preparing for this?
It's going to be weather more so.
Okay.
We try to keep our facilities always up to par, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So we're never taken by surprise if somebody stops in and says, hey, can we check out your retail store, or can we hug a goat or something like that? Or we also offer services that can provide goats for an event. So we try to make sure that we are always ready. So it's just making sure that we prepare our staff, that people be on farm, and then helping ourselves to answer questions for people.
Okay. Clara, what are some of the misconceptions that you run into at this event from people, what they think and what they don't know before they actually come on out and take advantage of this learning opportunity?
excellent question. And in that, I spend a lot of time with the consumer because I do a lot of the events at LaClare. And what I see people are really, really looking for is the experience. They're willing to pay for an experience. They just want to be able to understand what goes on because they're very connected. They're very interested in their food supply. And so they want to have that experience with. And so, if you think about, how many times have you driven through the county and you've seen that big equipment out in the fields and you're just like, oh my gosh. And now you get to step up next to it. Stopping into Salchert's and, you look around the store and you're like, where does this all come from? How does this all, and, all the questions that go with that. LaClare, stopping in for the creamery, and then at Ledgeview, you have the chance to talk to the growers, the vegetable growers, and they can specifically explain to you, how is that tomato? How does that English cucumber get growing? Stopping out at the KidFarm, learning about that, the beef, the sheep, all of those kinds of things. So really just the opportunity. And so as Greg keeps pointing out, wouldn't it be nice if we had great weather? So we keep hoping because that really also adds to that experience. That's very, very important.
Okay. And from your perspective, Greg, as you're walking around that day and seeing the kids and the moms and dads there enjoying themselves, how does that make you feel? I mean, you got to be feeling pretty good about people coming out and seeing what you do and taking advantage of the time there.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. And our probably a little bit of a selfish reason is it's our job to, the relationships we have in agriculture, those are obvious, right? We work with these farms and they work with growers. It takes a village to do this. But I feel like the part of the relationship is the consumer of the product. And we love to do this because it gets them involved to see how this all works. And as it gets harder, one of our biggest challenges is finding people to operate this equipment. It's easy they stuck out before because, I grew up on a farm. I can do this, that, and the other thing. But now, those kids are still out there. They're just harder to find. They still have that desire to be around the farm. So as we host this, we see these young kids get excited about it. So it's we want them to get excited. So maybe 5-10 years down the road, they come knocking on our door looking for a job saying, hey, this was really neat. We want to come, be part of this.
So if somebody's wanting to break into agriculture, this is a great opportunity for them to come out and kind of scope out the marketplace to see what might be entertaining for them or interesting for them to do as a job, correct?
Future career, yes.
Yeah. Katie, when you have people that are there visiting, what do you think their takeaways are from being at your shop?
Yeah, so the biggest takeaways I think we experience is the consumer being able to connect with the products. We, at our shop, is mostly all meat, and being able to connect with where does your product come from. I have found over the years that as much as the fads are, so people want clean label, people want grass-fed, people want organic, people want all these things, the thing that we have experienced through our operation is people want local. They want local. They want to know their farmers. So my job has kind of been, like, as people come to me and they say, hey, I want a quarter of a beef, but I don't know a farmer. So I start asking them the questions like, well, what are you looking for exactly? And I can connect them with a farmer that meets their preference. So there might be very specific things like, let's say a grass-fed, grass-finished animal, you're going to pay more money for it. But if that is very important to you because of health reasons, people are going to pay it. But let's say that your health reasons aren't as important as the local farmer is. Now I'm going to connect somebody that they want Angus beef, or somebody wants, price is more important. I can connect them with a farmer where it can be more price managed, that sort of thing. But the underlying thing of everything that I do is working with local farmers. That is, when it comes down to it, that's what is really, really important to people, and knowing exactly where that meat comes from. And I get to connect people with that. I get to source from our local farmers because so my husband and I bought this in 2019, but Salchert's has been around since 1928. And long before us, the roots have been planted, and we have been able to work with a lot of different farmers and learn what the consumer wants and what the farmers are doing and match those people. So that's been really neat.
How valuable is that contact then with people in your shop when it comes to the development of what you offer and what you sell? Is that really what drives your inventory and what you do and what you prepare? Or is it more of a set, hey, we're going to produce this much, we're going to do this, and then just put it out there and offer it to people?
There's a combination.
Okay.
Because when it comes to burgers and brats, like that's very weather focused. Again, agriculture is very focused around the weather. So if it's going to be a beautiful Saturday, we're going to bulk up on brats. If it's going to be a snowy, windy Saturday, you're going to manage your inventory accordingly. When it comes to summer, you're going to hit everything you can with the grill season. But when it comes to the holidays, it's going to be hams and some of the liver sausage, some of the more unique foods that people are used to eating for a tradition. That's a big piece of what we do too, is because we've been around so long. We have become traditions at people's Christmas table. We've become tradition at the Easter table. So that is a big piece of what we do too, being able to connect families. Like, as much as we get to connect them on the farm, now we get to take it a step further and we get to connect them around the dinner table, eating these certain value-added products, whether it's a smoked brat or it's a liver sausage for Christmas morning, or it's Soltz because Grandma always had Soltz, or Limburger. We sell Limburger. We don't make it, obviously, in our store, but some of those old Wisconsin traditions, being able to connect some of that stuff. I love having the conversations about German sausages because we're a very German community, so it's neat to be able to tie that piece of it too. And we do get to connect a lot with the consumer, which is a lot of fun for me. And I love when people come in and they ask for metwurst or they ask for blood sausage or something. We don't personally make those things, but it's neat to have those conversations and learn more about why they're even asking those questions. Yeah.
What should people expect on the 26th? Accessibility, easy to get around, no problems like that?
Exactly.
Okay.
We have J&E Trucking has donated gravel to all of our farms. So if any of their driveways, you'll have beautiful driveways to come in. Please be cautious on parking where you're parking in case you have to be on a roadway of some form or fashion. We start at 10 a.m. We finish at 3 o'clock, so if you can kind of take a look at that time frame, and I think Katie made a great point. Grab the map, plot out your day so that you have a sense of where you want to go, places you want to see. I think that's very important, and the biggest thing, if hopefully you've picked up that thread of how this is a community and how it is the agricultural venue is a many layers, many people involved, and really want to involve the consumer, provide an experience for them, a very positive experience. Any of the places that you're stopping at, I think you're going to find just rewarding, talking with the farmers that are present there. If some of them have products available, because several different stops you'll be able to purchase their products. Just a wonderful opportunity to immerse yourself in the world of agriculture that we have here in Calumet County and beyond.
So Anna, how should people dress for this day?
I would probably not wear your best shoes. So if you prefer rain boots, so if your kids are puddle jumpers or something like that, much easier to keep things clean, to slip them off when you're jumping in and out of your vehicles. Most farms are going to be pretty accessible, so play clothes, things of that sort, just not your Sunday best.
All right. Clara, where can people find out more information about what's happening and where they can go and the time you mentioned before, but all that kind of information?
The Calumet County Farm Bureau Facebook page will have all of that information on it. At LaClare, we will have flyers available. You could certainly talk to any one of the farms that we've mentioned. They will all have information available. And then we will have signage, event stop at the ends of their driveways, so that will help, yeah, I got the right spot, that kind of thing. And the map will be on the Facebook page, so that it's easy to find and you don't have to misplace that piece of paper.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful event. I just want to thank everybody for being in here today to talk about it. Folks, if you're looking for some entertainment, make time in your weekend to spend the day getting to know your local farmer. It's an opportunity, again, to talk with people that are actually in the business, and you can learn as you're having fun that day as well. And there's going to be food available at the different spots, so don't worry about having to stop anywhere other than just on the tour as you're going forward. So with it, all right. So thank you again, our guests, for being on the podcast. It was great to sit down with you and hear all about the exciting things happening at the Meet Your Local Farmer event on April 26th here in Calumet County and beyond. Listeners, thanks for tuning in to episode number 41, and please make sure you check out the other 40 episodes of the Travel Calumet Original Podcast by clicking on the microphone on the homepage of travelcalumet.com. And if you liked what you heard today or on previous episodes, please help us spread the word on all the great things taking place here in Calumet County by taking the time to text a couple of friends, encourage them to listen to the Travel Calumet Original Podcast. Thank you for listening, and until next time.